Timekeepers, are you ready? Runners, are you ready? Watchers, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, it is great to be back for another week of parkrun action. This week at Ōrākei Parkrun in Auckland City. Now, you may have noticed, or not, that I haven't done a parkrun video for the last couple of weeks. So I actually recorded last week's parkrun I did at Pars Park, which is a new one out in West Auckland area. It's only started this year, I believe, so I wanted to check that one out. But there was quite a lot of mist that morning, so my footage was completely blurry and not overly usable. So I actually went and did that parkrun and recorded it, but didn't make a video. I may go back to it if I want to, but was a little bit not quite the standard I was after. So there was a absence in my uploads that week, and the week before I actually took a Saturday morning off parkrun for probably the first time by choice in probably a year. I mean, I'm doing it voluntarily, or through my own sheer delight in the activity of parkrun. But yeah, I just decided I wasn't feeling 100 the last couple of weeks, so I decided I just needed to take a whole weekend off and give myself a chance to recover. But yep, don't worry, that's the last you'll hear about that sickness chat. We are back to 100% now and feeling good, and it was great to get back up and running. Now, this was actually probably the best run I've had or felt running since I moved back to New Zealand. I think I moved the first or second week, I think it was the first week of April. So yeah, I've been here pretty much a month, and this was the first run that I really got my legs spinning and really felt good again. So this week I managed to do a couple of good little sessions, a few little 1k reps, and yeah, started to feeling like it was all, the lungs were coming back to life. And yeah, this was the first, very encouraged to feel like we're getting back on the up and up. Chilling. This is a really cool course, probably my favourite course in Auckland City. Probably this and Millwater are my two favourites, I'd say, in terms of what I enjoy running. I've added a new feature here. This is a relatively hilly course. You can see by the elevation profile on the bottom right. Actually, I shouldn't even need to point it out, you'll know which one I'm talking about. But I've also added percentage grade just above that as well. So I hadn't done that before, but I had someone inquire about that a couple of weeks ago, and I thought I'd add it in. So funnily enough, my watch doesn't do elevation overly well, but I did the thing where you get Strava to correct your elevation and then exported the GPX file after that. So I've watched this through once, and it seems to be pretty relatively accurate, I'd say. So hopefully that gives you a slightly new data point to look at throughout this clip, because yeah, as I said, there are a few hills, and the biggest one, as you can see just by looking at the profile, is just at that turnaround point. You can see by pretty much even just by looking at the elevation profile that this is an out and back course, obviously turning at that 2.5k mark. Really fun starting on that boardwalk at the start. It sounds like a herd of elephants running down the boardwalk with all the clambering of the feet as people make their way off the start line, and then it's a really fun one to finish on, because you get this nice downhill at the end, which you would have seen we ran up just after the start, and then you've just got a flat straight line home. So yeah, probably you'd be hard pressed to find a longer, straighter section at a parkrun anywhere really. First K through in 3:45. That was actually my goal for today, was just to go out in a 3:45. I thought that would be a measured first K. Didn't want to go out too hard and cook myself, because I wasn't entirely sure about how I'd feel. As I said, I've done a few 1k reps, but wasn't sure how I'd hold up after a 5k of hard effort. So yeah, good to get rolling. The guy in the blue shirt is currently in second place, and I think if you look far in the distance, you'll see a chap in a black shirt kind of running. I think he's running over the bridge and he's second there, if I recall from my first watch through. Yeah, you can see him just in the distance. So he's gone off in miles ahead. There was no way I was going to keep up with that today, so good on him for storming off ahead. But yeah, this is a really great course. Lovely boardwalks to run along, and yeah, it's really scenic. It's if you even if you don't do the park run, but you're looking for a place to walk or run for that matter in Auckland City, this is a really nice path to follow. It actually extends a long way further up towards kind of St Heliers, and it's a really easy one to get to. I think they're extending the not directly connecting it, but pretty much extending it through to another section which they're building, which goes all the way down to the waterfront. I'm not sure when that opens, but yeah, that'll be fun. It'll create some extra little running and cycle routes that are really easy to get to and from the waterfront, which is always great. But yeah, how's the run going? We are just about 1.5k into it. Kind of using the blue shirt guy ahead of me kind of as a bit of a pacer at this point. Always good to have a bit of a target. I think if he wasn't there, I would think that the guy in the black shirt was just way too far ahead. So it's nice to have someone to kind of lock in on and try and tag along with for a while. Let's have a look at this parkrun general stats. So the course record for this event, actually, important announcement, this was the 100th event for Ōrākei Parkrun, so that's pretty cool. I was actually at the first one they did. I think that was on the 5th of April back in 2024 it would have been. Should have written that down really, shouldn't I? But yeah, so either way it's done 100 events. While I'm doing that, I might actually look up what the date of the first one was. But yeah, so in terms of the fastest finishes, a guy called Matthew set the record on the 29th of March. He did a 15:47, which is very good, but he's actually a fantastic runner. I mean, obviously he is, running those kind of times, but outside of parkrun, he's a very speedy runner. And then Charlotte has the fastest female time of 18:14, so both really, really good run times, very impressive indeed. In terms of kind of turnout for this event, they average about, for the year to date, they've averaged about 264 runners, and they, now that we've got the volunteer statistics, they've got the 22 volunteers they average per event as well, so that's quite cool. Yeah, this is, I feel like I'm really bombarding with all sorts of statistics, which I didn't really do when I first started this. It's all sounding a bit serious, so let's see how we're going back on the run. Nice to be rolling along this path. Yeah, this is actually pretty happy with this pace. Just as we get through the 2k mark, 3:34, managed to just turn up the speed a bit here. Although I guess on that first k we had that little rise just before the first k mark clicked over. So yeah, this has probably been a faster section of course to run, which is cool. And yeah, very happy to be running those kind of paces at this point. I think the goal at this point was just to try not to let this guy get out of my reach and try and stay in touch as fast as possible, or as long as possible. So yeah, I've done this course I think 15 times. This was my 15th one today. So very, very familiar with it. Yeah, if someone said you can only do one park run every week, I'd probably pick this one. It's a good mix of being some nice fast sections, some good little hills, or slightly bigger than little hills, as you can see the one we're about to approach here, which really provide a good workout and keep your legs really pushing when your lungs are working as well. So yeah, it's a very solid workout. As you can see, we're just approaching the steepest section of the course. This is a nice little grind here as I make my way alongside this blue runner. Always loved running up the hills myself, so not so much the downs, as you'll see in a second.
Right. Get ready, bro. That's the hard part.
And in a moment or two we'll see the guy in first rolling down this hill.
Oh, okay. Nice one, mate. Good effort.
Nice work, mate. Good to give him a bit of encouragement as he goes by, making it look far too easy today. As we pretty much approach we do approach the 2.5k mark. My GPS is just plus or minus for our turnaround here, and
thanks, Molly. Legend.
Bit of a shout out to the great volunteer at the turnaround point.
Nice, lads. Nice work.
Rolling down this hill, this guy's obviously good at getting his legs spinning. I've always been a bit of an average descender. But yeah, nice little fast section there, and then we slowly get back into the kind of the flowing, slightly undulating sections of the course. One of the great things about this course is that it's situated right beside.
Nice work, bro.
Oh, actually,
Let's
change the topic. That's a guy called Connor. He does the ultra events. You know, is it called the relapse? The backyard ultra where you do a lap an hour, and he did one. I think it must have been last Saturday. So I was giving him a shout out for how impressed it was that he's back up and running after doing that last weekend. So I can't remember exactly how many laps it was, but I know he's done some pretty seriously impressive endurance efforts doing those backyard ultras over the years. So he's a bit of an inspiration, and good to see him out having a solid, slightly shorter run today than probably he was having a week ago. As we just click over 3k here and a 341, obviously that little section before was a little bit slower with that hill. I guess you could make it up for it on the down, but I'm not very good at making it up for on the downhill. So yeah, 341 for that k, and from this point we've pretty much got one more main kind of climb, one more slightly minor climb, and then it's all pretty much downhill. So yeah, really enjoy once you get to this part of the course. You kind of feel like you're on the home stretch. Paths are really nice and wide, so they're really yeah, everyone's got plenty of room to run. Everyone keeps their sides, and it's certainly not tight at all. So it's a really great parkrun venue. I remember when this boardwalk first opened. Oh, there we go, high five. I usually don't give high five credits to other people's high fives, but that was a really nicely filmed one, and thought I'd throw it in there. Good to see the bikes and the runners sharing the path. But yeah, I remember when this boardwalk was first open, I was like, this would be a fantastic place for a parkrun. Not only because it's 5 or 10 minutes away from my house, so there was the convenience factor. But yeah, I think this is just ideal. I'm a big fan, as you can probably tell. So, but yeah, now that I'm back in action, I hope to keep checking out some of the other parkruns back in Auckland. I'm not sure which one I'll do next week. Maybe I'll just keep it a surprise.
Nice. Oh, you'll get me, bro.
Just having a chat to the guys I'm going past, saying he'll probably...
Huh? You're posting? Posting?
Or is that for insurance?
No, I just filmed some of the courses around.
Just having a little chat. I probably don't need to repeat that, you probably heard it, but yeah, just to say I film, just passing on that I'm filming some of the local parkruns as we make our way. That was probably the second biggest climb of the whole run we just finished. Nice little flowing downhill here. What shoes am I wearing today? I'm wearing my Vaporfly 4s, my nice bright yellow ones. Haven't really worn those for probably a good month, so it always feels good to get those back on the feet. A bit lighter than the Nimbus, so I got myself probably a little extra speed than I've been used to. Nice chap there giving us on-course placing updates, although there was no doubt where we were coming at that point with the guy in first a long way out of sight. I think that grade percentage seems to be working pretty well. It seems to be pretty accurate, going minus when we're going down and plus, or you know, a positive number when we're going up. So I think I might keep that on in the next videos either way. Just adds to the buffet of things you can watch.
Hey.
The plethora, maybe, might be a better word. The smorgasbord. Okay, I'm getting a bit off topic. Closing in on the 4th K. Plethora? I just googled it. Plethora. There we go. Sorry about that. Bit of a amateur hour. $3.32 for the 4th K. As you can tell, I'm slightly getting less invested in the voiceovers. I might have to redo this one because I seem to be slightly Hope my standards aren't dropping. Certainly my running standards dropped a bit recently, so maybe I'm just the voiceovers are kind of following suit. But we're on the comeback now, folks. Don't worry, we will bounce back to the glory days of 10 weeks ago when this thing started. That is very much a joke as we are coming up to our final little push. This is where you really just want to get at the top of this one. As soon as you get there, you know, hey, it's home time. You can see the finish line, which is really, it's actually quite a good psychological bonus once you can see the finish. I always enjoy seeing it from 50 metres or 100 metres away. So to see it from, what is this, you know, almost 700 metres away, it's pretty cool.
Thanks, Ollie.
Past our volunteer there, thanks to all the legends on the course. Oh, this is a good thing to say. This is a really, I mean, all parkruns are very friendly, but this is a really good group of volunteers to run this event. They're super friendly, really passionate about it. They do a really, really good job. I'm pretty keen to actually volunteer at this one, because I've done this one 15 times but never volunteered, so I'd be really keen to get involved and do one soon, because they're a really cool team, and it's always good to support the local. Going down the final downhill here, you can see you can't really see on the GoPro, but I can visually see where the finish line would be, as we get a nice little view of the Ōrākei Basin to the left. It's actually a really cool water skiing spot. A lot of people do training there, and there's a cool jump that people go over. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but there's actually obviously a bit of construction work going on. This path is obviously nice and normally fully open, and doesn't usually have these barricades here, but certainly no complaints from me whatsoever. People have got to do what they got to do to maintain these wonderful resources. But yeah, so it's probably less picturesque looking on the footage than normal, but just a little side note. Shuffling around this little point here, and at this point it's 300 yards to go. I think the first guy did it in, I should check the results, I'll know in a second, I think it was 17:05, so he's probably just crossing the line any second. I think my PB is 17:15 for this course, I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not. So yeah, I'm a little bit off that today, but maybe in full health it would have been a good day to try and tag along with someone about that same kind of finishing time. Final push go. Am I really running sub 3 minute Ks here? Maybe, who knows? But yeah, I'll take it. And 100 yards to go. Having a little look back, making sure the guy I overtook wasn't going to do a final surge on me. Don't really have much more to give here. This is probably a good final burst. Making our way into the finish line. And it split me off a little bit earlier, 3:16. Thanks to our volunteers there. 17:50, and here is our final results sheet. So 17:50 for me. First guy was in 17:06, and the chap I overtook was just 10 seconds behind. So great day for it. I really, really recommend you check out Ōrākei Bay Parkrun. It's one of my faves, as I said, and stay tuned for next week's episode. I'm looking forward to it already. Ciao.